Major Nintendo Switch update.
I wanna be the very best YouTuber there ever was. Subscribers is my real test. To share Nintendo news is my cause. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, it's you and me.
Pokemon Arceus is out! What? I can't believe we are living in the future, guys. It felt like this day would never come, and that's not the only hot Nintendo news around the block. We've got openings to work on Metroid Prime 4. We've got a possible release month for Breath of the Wild 2, and it is sooner than I ever would have thought. And not only that, but we've got a super exciting Nintendo Switch update, a possible new game. What? All right, guys, let's get into it, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. If you're a fan of Metroid, I have some incredible news for you. They are hiring for Metroid Prime 4. Yes, you could be working on Metroid Prime 4. So the positions they're looking to fill are the tools engineer as well as a technical engineer. It looks like the location for this job is going to be in Austin, Texas. So if you live there or are willing to move there to work on Metroid Prime 4, which I mean, why wouldn't you? This may be the job for you. I also noticed on their jobs page, specifically, it looked like they had other openings, but this is the only one that they specifically tweeted out and said, work on Metroid Prime 4. So if you only care about Metroid Prime 4 and not about the other games that this company works on, these are the positions for you. Now, I will say the one bummer about this is that I kind of wished that, Metroid Prime 4 was done. I feel like we have been waiting on this game for 5 years. And recently they're like, hey, we're revamping the whole thing. But even that was like 2 or 3 years ago. So, I kind of hoped we were doing more than just hiring people at this point, but it's fine, as long as one of you gets the job and just makes it the best Metroid Prime game ever, that's all I care about. Nintendo's cloud-based games may have some major issues. Now, if you're like me, I was so excited to finally see Nintendo's cloud gaming system get some actually good games. Hello, Kingdom Hearts. But a lot of people are concerned about whether or not the hefty price tag, and I do mean hefty price tag, like $90 for the entire collection and $50 per game, is actually even worth it. And I will give it to Nintendo, they actually do have demos available for this, which to me at least I think allows for you to see if the game even works with your internet connection, because that is something Nintendo cannot control. Unfortunately, some people just have better internet than others. And even if we're being given access to these incredible games, unfortunately they're just not gonna look as good with the limited resolution that the Switch allows, which again is making a lot of people worry if it's even worth the price, if they can just get the exact same game on a different device, sometimes for the same price, sometimes cheaper, and have it look better overall. That being said though, honestly, I still have my fingers crossed for whatever the Switch Pro or next thing is after the Switch, that having a lot better resolution, because come on Nintendo, we deserve it. And you know what, Nintendo, it doesn't even have to be 4K, just something better, especially again on that handheld gameplay. I would just love to see a better resolution with that same OLED screen. Oh my god, you guys would be unstoppable. Will they actually listen to me though? I don't know, only time will tell. Am I still going to be playing Kingdom Hearts? Obviously, I'm basic. I have no hope. In case you didn't see this last time, we've got merch! Woo! That's right. If you're like, wow, Nicole's shirt is so cute, I wish I could wear that. I have news for you, friends. You can! And you can also wear it in 3 different colors. What? Plus stickers. I know, so exciting. So make sure you guys go check it out. Link in the description. Guys, there is a 10-screen Game Boy. I know, just let that sink in. Don't look at it yet. I'm gonna show it to you, but just let that sink in all of its glory. I mean, look at this thing. Glorious. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. This incredible creation was created by fellow YouTuber, and I'm just going to spell out their name instead of try and pronounce it, KGSWS. And I mean, round of applause. This is beautiful. They're able to make this by connecting the Game Boy's LCD to chip microcontrollers and a Raspberry Pi. Whew, what a sentence. They then melded together 9 screens on a 3x3 grid, and it just looks beautiful. It looks like the bougie version of like solar panel. I don't know. I just love it, and I know you will too. Guys, you're not ready for this. You are not. If you're standing, sit down. If you're already sitting, like get like a blanket or something, get cozy, because I'm about to change your life, okay? We possibly have the release month for Breath of the Wild, and it is so much sooner like than you ever would have thought. Like, think of a date sooner. So Samus Hunter 2, a known leaker, like they have leaked numerous things before in the past, has leaked that allegedly the Breath of the Wild 2 release date is in April. What? That's so soon. I'm not even prepared. Like, my mind is blown, and I don't know how true this is, but Samus Hunter 2 has been like correct in the past, so I do kind of trust them. So this is like fully what Samus Hunter 2 tweeted. Just to talk, I want to express my thoughts on the possibility of postponing the sequel of Breath of the Wild 2 to 2023. At the moment, I see it difficult. I agree. I don't think there's any way they're gonna delay it. They've got too much hype. Nintendo wants to aim for a release this year, but for some reason the launch should be postponed. The final decision will be taken around April. Possible announcement in early May at most, because this is what usually happens. And that's so soon. And going still on that same track that Samus Hunter 2 gave us, that means we may be at least getting the game by May. Final decision in April if we're not getting around it. Who knows? There's so much up in the air, but what I know for certain is if this train is gonna stay on track, that means we must be getting a Nintendo Direct sometime soon. At least sometime in April, because that's when the final decisions need to be made. I will say though, it does seem like a lot of people are very convinced this is gonna be delayed. I'm willing to put all my chips, okay, maybe not all my chips, but I'm willing to bet on 90% that this game is not going to be delayed, and at the very least will be out for the holiday season. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy for saying that, but that's just what I think. And if you thought that was the major Nintendo news that I was talking about earlier, it's not even. Like, we still have so much to talk about. Nintendo may be planning to release a new game in February, as in like this month, February, and that's what I count as major Nintendo news. So there's a leaked image from Japanese magazine Nintendo Dream that is dropping some major hints our way. Now, it is a little rough because it is only in Japanese, so we can only go off of translations that other people have given, and who knows how accurate those actually are, but still. So rough translation of this says, a new issue will be released on February 21st. In addition to detailed news about Kirby and the Forgotten Land, we've also included a new game that we didn't expect. Then it says something that's a little confusing, and that is, I have a feeling that the new title will be announced. Now, a lot of people on the internet at least have taken this as meaning there is a new game possibly coming, being announced this month in February. The very interesting thing to me about this though, while I am partially team new game in February, I am wondering, just because of that very weird, a new title will be announced, like what if they mean the new actually official title of Breath of the Wild 2? Because as we all remember, Breath of the Wild 2 is not the actual name of the game. It's just a placeholder name that they've given us for right now. Another translation of the same quote from somebody else I found had this to say, which is a little bit different. April's issue of Nintendo Dream will be released on February 22, 2022. Interesting that it's also different dates. Like one was the 21st, one's the 22nd. Like it has to say one or the other. In March, we will see the release of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and in this issue, we will share all the information we have on the game. I also have a premonition that a new title will be announced. So to me, that specific translation reads new title as in a new game, because usually people call games titles. That means that we're possibly getting a new game announcement by February 22nd, which to me means, again, maybe direct. I feel like Nintendo usually does, especially if it's a bigger title, like a direct, and then it's like, surprise, here's a game. But could also mean, again, maybe we are actually getting the full Breath of the Wild 2 title. Again, title usually very heavily means game, but who knows? It's a rough translation. Like, who knows? Only time will tell, but either way, I feel like we could be expecting another Direct in February. This is just an in general PSA reminder that you can still get free Joy-Con repairs. Do not forget, this was announced like a long time ago, and honestly, so much has happened in the world since this was originally announced. Just in case you forgot, you can still get free repairs on your Joy-Con. I will say though, word to the wise, be extremely careful if you are sending Joy-Cons or any Joy-Cons that are different than Joy-Con color. In fact, recently I found out that if you are submitting your Joy-Cons, you do actually have to check a box that specifically says you agree to not having your exact same Joy-Con sent back. So if you have a color other than the standard gray or the neon blue and red, I would say too, just in my own personal experience, it does take some time for them to like actually go through everything. So make sure you have a backup pair of Joy-Cons before you send your Joy-Cons in. Like, don't send all of them in because you will not be able to play your games. That being said, you know, it's free. How much can we complain for something that is free, truly? Pokemon Legends Arceus has finally been released and it is on fire. This is the 4th largest Pokemon release of all time according to early data, and their reviews are actually incredible. Like, I was really pumped for this game to come out, and then I got really nervous when I saw like the commercial and the graphics. I was like, oh no, is this gonna be bad? And then I saw leaks and like Typhlosion looked weird, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's happening? All that to say, having played it myself, it lives up to the hype, and I don't want to overhype it, but I love it. And it is truly refreshing. The new dynamics they've added to the game, like, it truly just makes me really excited to fill out my Pokedex time. Like, you know, Pokemon's catchphrase is gotta catch them all, but there's no like usually like incentive to actually catch them all, and it's, you know, pretty easy to just be so focused on the battles that like a game without even caring about catching a ton of Pokemon. And I will say I am missing the battles to some degree, but I think honestly Pokemon games have gotten so, dare I say, easy in recent years that this actually feels like a real game. Like, I'm actually like doing something and being like a capable player. Now, I will say, do I wish the graphics were better? Yes, of course. But I don't know, I love the game and I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're a Pokemon fan. Even if you're a Pokemon fan who hasn't played like a game in a while, this is a great game, I think, to kind of reignite that love for Pokemon games in you. Guys, I have some Animal Crossing tea, okay? I know we haven't talked about Animal Crossing in a little bit here because there have been some really exciting other things going on, but I dare I say, may disagree with Nintendo's latest Animal Crossing decision. Animal Crossing's New Horizons support has officially ended on the game, which seems honestly kind of ridiculous to me. Like, we just got Happy Home Paradise. It really has not been that long, and this is one of the top selling Nintendo Switch games of all time. So it just seems wild to me after a major update, they would just completely wash their hands, close support completely. And while a part of me is like, well, maybe they're closing it because they're working on a new Animal Crossing game, the other part of me, the part that has been let down by the Animal Crossing community, knows that that is probably not the case. And I feel bad saying community, creators. In total, Animal Crossing New Horizons had support for only 595 days. And here's the real kicker. Here's like the reason why I'm upset. If you look at Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which is a transactional mobile game, they still have support. They have not turned off the support on that at all. And they've had support for about 1,520, and they've had support for about 1,528 days and counting. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. That's not even like the actual game. But the reason why I feel like they're doing this is because they're making actively more money with those microtransactions, which sucks. It sucks that we, the Animal Crossing gamers who are buying the actual game and again, still paying our own money for this additional Happy Home Paradise are getting the short end of the stick. Like, I'm not a big fan of microtransactions, but if you really wanted to, like, they could add microtransactions to Animal Crossing New Horizons and people would eat them up. I'm sure there would be things that I would probably want to pay for. So it just seems really weird and again, frustrating that they would go in this direction. Like, what do I do now if I have a problem? I guess we're on our own. I've been hurt too many times by Animal Crossing, so even I am hesitant to be like, maybe it's a new game, but you know what? Who knows? The 1% of optimism that I have left in Animal Crossing is like, maybe it's a new game. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I will see you all very soon.